So we're carrying on, and we're talking at the moment about your nefesh habehemis, your animal soul. And we said last time, it's just completely focused on the present physical pleasure. That's it. Sleep, eat, sex, drugs, anything. Just I have a desire, and then I have to fulfill the desire. That's it. That's what, apart from your soul, you are literally an animal. There's no difference between you and an animal on the level of nefesh, on your lower nefesh habehemis. And what is an animal's walking around is just a machine. That's all it is. It's a machine of instant gratification. What do I feel like now? What do I want now? Go and get it. A lion is called the king of the beasts. And we say that's a good thing. But I actually just had this chap half a second ago when I said the word lion. Why is it the king of the beasts? Because it's the most animalistic animal. Lions sleep for like 20 hours a day. More. 22. Wake up, kill, eat. And by the way, the man doesn't even do anything. The woman, basically, the lioness, they go out and do the kill, most of them. And then the man just basically gets up, eats, beats with his wife, goes back to sleep. That's why he's called the king of the beast. Not because he's the greatest, because he's the most animalistic animal. The other thing about it is, no such thing as self-control. It doesn't exist. If I want it and it's there, I do it. There's no way I cannot do it. So this is what makes you greater than the animals. You can not do it. Just because you want it doesn't mean you have to do it. Just because I'm in a bad mood doesn't mean I have to be not nice to people. Just because your mood doesn't have to control you. You're a master. And someone who's a master, they have self-control. I'm choosing. So for most people, they have no self-control. What's in control of your emotions? The weather, what people say to you, how well your team does, how well other people are doing in your shiur. Whatever it is, you've got a billion things controlling you, so we say no. A master is someone who gets beyond that. Fine. ולפי שהאדם מתחילת בריאתו נולד בהמה ממש. And seeing as a human is born literally as an animal, what is a baby? A baby is an animal. Poops, eats, cries, sleeps. That's it. Kind of looks around. Now we said this before in praise of a baby. Why is a baby basically always happy apart from when it's hungry or has poop in its nappy, in its diaper? Because it doesn't have thought. And thought is the only thing that gets in the way of your happiness. If you had no thoughts, you'd just be happy. Your thoughts are creating all your pain, anxiety, doubt, fear, trauma, whatever it is. So babies don't have thoughts, so they only have experience. And pure experience, tamu ura'u kitab Hashem, taste how good Hashem is connected and pure and simple and beautiful. But now we're saying a different thing. But that also makes them an animal. It makes them an animal because they're just experiencing what they're experiencing in the moment. Shekol puluatov heim b'mit'asek ba'alma. Have you learned anything about the halachas of Shabbos? Great. So there are three levels of things on Shabbos. There's mezid. Mezid is when you do something on purpose. I know it's Shabbos. I know I'm not allowed to turn the light on. I turn the light on. That's just evil. Mezid. 3 levels of intention. I know it's Shabbos. I know I can't do this. I'm just going to do it. Bam. Then there's some. Pardon?
Sorry. Is it always a negative? Like, you know you're not supposed to do something, but you do it anyway.
Yeah. It means I'm conscious that I'm conscious. Now, me growing up as a secular Jew for 29 years, I knew it was Shabbos. I knew I wasn't allowed to drive on Shabbos, and I drove on Shabbos. That's not called mezid. I'm not held accountable for it because I just didn't know. I knew, but I didn't know. I didn't know what Shabbos. I knew it was Shabbos. I knew I can do this, but so that's not counted against me. Or apparently, I'll have to bring one chatat, one korban for 29 years. It's considered one mistake. You're not. It's called Tinok Shenishba. I didn't know any better. It's not my fault. Then there's something called Shogeg. Shogeg is either I forgot it's Shabbos, so I turn the light on just because I forgot it was Shabbos. Chas v'shalom. That you forgot it's Shabbos. What's wrong with you? How could you possibly forget it's Shabbos? There's actually a debate in the Gemara. If you're in the desert, you get lost in the desert and you have no idea what day it is. When do you keep Shabbos? So either you keep Shabbos the next day and then wait 6 days and keep Shabbos, or you wait 6 days and keep Shabbos. That's the debate. Do you wait 6 days and then keep Shabbos? Or do you keep Shabbos and then the next day is Shabbos? And there's beautiful, deep ideas about what that means. Creation of the world or creation of the human. Because if we're going by creation of the world, then you wait 6 days and then Shabbos. If you're going by creation of the human, then you have Shabbos the next day because they were created on the 6th. Like beautiful, beautiful ideas.
Sounds like what was first, chicken or eggs?
No, we know what was first. Chicken. Hashem made chickens. That's why when you do philosophy at university, it's like, well, if you know the Torah, then you answer most of those questions. So, I wish I'd known what I know now when I did philosophy at university. I would have written up discovery essays, seen what they said. They'd be like, no, what do you say about that? I knew nothing. So basically, you're in the desert, you don't know what day Shabbos is. Do you keep it tomorrow or do you... So apparently, I've forgotten which Rebbe, but one of the Hasidim was learning this Gemara, and he went up to the Rebbe and goes, hold on, I just don't understand. How can you not know when it's Shabbos? You just wait until you feel that Shabbos has come in. And then that's the day Shabbos. And the Rebbe said, not everyone's on that level that they can actually feel. So I forgot it's Shabbos, so I turn on light. The other one is, I know it's Shabbos, but I don't know you're not allowed to turn on lights. So I turned on the light. So that's also called shogeg. It's a mistake. It's a mistake. So if you forget one of the two and you do it, it's a mistake. How about if it's Shabbos, you know it's Shabbos, you're from, you know what you can do, and you walk out the bathroom and you turn off the light because that's what you always do. Is that shogeg? No. It's called mitasek. It's nothing.
Really?
Yeah. It's nothing. Now you should still do tshuva that you're not conscious enough of Shabbos, but you didn't forget it was Shabbos. You knew it was Shabbos. You were going back to your meal. You were sitting there at the Shabbos meal, and of course you know you can't turn on the lights. It's just that every time for the 6 days of the week, every time you come out of the bathroom, you turn off the light. So you just did it. You're just a robot, and you just did it. Not even called shogeg, no korban, nothing. You're cool.
There's no word for it. It's not.
It's called mitasek. It means you're just doing it.
What if you quickly turn it back on?
Oh, good.
You
Fun.
know what I'm talking about, right?
Yes! I always wanted to do this Purim play thing where someone basically turn it off and then suddenly you realize, and then you turn it on and you're like, I couldn't. So it's just stuck there for the rest of the Shabbos. I thought that'd be funny.
Organize it.
By the way, just a whole separate point is, if you do that, should you feel bad at all? How bad should you feel?
Bad enough to just not do it again?
So there's got to be this balance. If you don't feel bad at all and you say, well, that's mitasek. Like, have you ever turned a light on Shabbat and you can feel it go up your arm? You're like, oh, you can feel it. It's like, oh no. But then you got to let go. If you then say, right, I've ruined my whole Shabbos, I'm so bad, what's wrong with... That's just the Yetzer Hara trying to ruin your Shabbos. You made a mistake, chill out. And this is in general in life. In your mistakes, if you don't feel any remorse, and you're like, yeah, whatever, then you can't grow. But if you beat yourself up about it, then that's just the Yetzer Hara, you can't grow either. There's got to be a moment of, ow, that hurts. And then let go, okay? And then, how do you let go? Because you should feel happy that it hurts. Because for most people it wouldn't hurt. You should be happy that you're upset that it happened. I'm happy with myself that I'm upset. Imagine you ate something and then someone came up to you and said, oh my goodness, I'm sorry, that wasn't kosher. Same thing. If you're like, okay, not my fault. That's a bit weird because you don't want not kosher things. So you're like, oh, you were going to wash out your mouth. But then you go, okay, get over it. So we've got to get this balance. But anyway, he's saying that animals and babies, and unfortunately many humans, are living in a world of mitasek, which is just, you're just a robot. Pasha, a robot. And which is most people, most grown-ups nowadays. You go to your job, same job every day, that person annoys you every day, that person you like every day, that result makes you happy every day, that thing every day. You're just literally walking through life having the same thought patterns, the same behavior patterns. You're just a robot. And depending on what input comes into your system, that's your output, that's your emotions, that's your everything. So the Nefesh Behemis is just that. V'yitzra hara holech u'mitgadel yom yom. And your Yetzer Hara, the voice of your animal soul, grows stronger every day. Why? Because if you feed it, it grows. You're feeding it. Every time you listen to it, you fed it. So it gets stronger. It's great. It loves it.
Is it the same thing with your spiritual?
Yes, whichever one you feed, it gets stronger. You start feeding your good side, then that gets stronger, and that starts... You're basically turning up the volume. Which one are you turning up the volume? You've got two. So you want to start turning down the volume on your Yetzer Hara. Start turning up the volume on your Yetzer Tov. Because your neshamas are always speaking to you. It's just that your body and ego is speaking to you much louder. So imagine you're speaking to me, he's whispering to me and you're shouting at me. I can't hear him, but he is whispering at you. As soon as I shut you up, then I can hear what he's saying. That's it. And it works the other way around. As soon as you start listening to the neshama more, the voice of the Yetzer Hara just gets like babyish. And you're like, really? Is that all you got? Don't start testing your Yetzer Hara like that. It's like, really? Come on, speak Lashon Hara? No. Or, you know what? Don't get up this morning. You'll be a bit late for Shacharis. At that point, you just laugh. You're like, really? You're such a baby.
That's exactly what happened to me today.
Yeah?
Yeah, I almost was late. I was like in bed, I was like, I'm tired, I don't want to go. And then I was like, that's what I said last time, but I didn't go and I didn't feel good,
Yeah, now how amazing do you feel?
I had to run here because I also would have came late,
And how do you feel now? Feel like a mensch. And by the way, if you are a bit tired, you have a little shlov after lunch?
Yeah.
Great. Have a shlov. Kol shnei kednoto, al kein, all the days of your youth, the Yetzer Hara and the Nefesh Beim is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Al kein nikra shmo zaken uchasil. It's called in Kohelet, Shlomo HaMelech, King Solomon, calls the Yetzer Hara an old fool. He's an old fool. He's very old, but because you're born with your Yetzer Hara. Do you know when you get your Yetzer Tov? 13 or 12 if you're a girl. At your bar or bat mitzvah, you don't have a Yetzer Tov until you're 12. So how come my children do nice things? If they don't have a Yetzer Tov, they do good things. Actually, exactly. There's something called a Teva Tov. A Teva Tov is you've got a good nature. So that you can be born with a good nature. But the drive really to think beyond yourself only really kicks in when you're 12. Even if a kid is doing something for other people, we're training him to do that. It's from the age of 12, 13 that you actually start, hopefully, by the way, some people not, ever. But hopefully you start thinking beyond yourself, other people. That I'm not the whole center of the world here. Achein achakach mischelet להתגלות בו רוח עצה חכמה וגבורה. But then, at about 12, 13 years old, you start to build up this power and spirit, and you start revealing this spirit of wisdom and self-control. Wisdom and self-control. Which means I can actually consider things. I'm not just going through the motions. I can consider what's the best thing. Do I have to do what I want to do? Do I have to cry just because someone upset me? By the way, you might choose, yes, crying is the appropriate thing, that's fine. But it means you're not just being an animal going along with things anymore. You're actually starting to consider the world. Get up, take your head out of the sand and look up and say, okay, what's the right thing to do in this situation? Not what do I want to do. Children, animals is all about what do I want to do. Grown up is all what's the right thing to do. And then the highest level is, well, I want to do the right thing. So in the end you do it. It's okay to want it, but I want at first, but you've got to train yourself. At first you don't necessarily want to do the right thing, but you do it anyway. That's a very good level. Until you get to the point of course I want to do that.
Sorry. Okay. It's about, you said that in 30, after 30 years, we're doing what's right.
Well, hopefully, not everyone, but we do have that power in us.
Yeah, but what about our we include kids who want to do what you want?
Oh, good. So now it's just saying now you have these two powers. You don't lose the animal power, but you now have something to fight it,
Right?
and that's called free will. Now you have free will.
Okay.
So you have both powers. You have a Yetzer Tov and a Yetzer Hara. You have these two separate drives. Dahainu shenaseh bal bechira. Oh, there you go. And you become a free person of free will. Now, how do you define free will?
Delayed gratification.
Pardon?
Delayed gratification.
Make your own choices.
How about I want strawberry ice cream, not chocolate ice cream? Is that a free will decision?
It depends on if you like the chocolate more.
Ah.
Right. That's
Maybe if you want self-control, it does become one. Or if your wife wants the strawberry and there's not enough for both, so you have the chocolate.
Always give her the strawberry.
Huh?
Always give her the strawberry.
Always
Wait,
give her
I
a-
think that's more of a free will decision.
Yeah. No, but there's two types of free will decision. One is good over evil, moral, and the other one is self-control. I'm going to overcome my desire. In fact, what real free will is the ability to make a choice that goes against all the input. Those people who don't believe you have free will would just say, basically, I could tell you every decision you're ever going to make based on your input, your upbringing, how much you ate that day. Based on that input, you have no free will. You're just an animal, and because of all the factors, you made that decision. We say no. Free will is the ability to make a decision that goes against all the input. And you can only do that if you have a neshama. The neshama can override the brain and the body. And I told you I ran this trip in Nicaragua. I ran many trips in Nicaragua, but once for UPenn, Hillel, and they were great kids, by the way, but they were very, very, very and this is I think why they're great kids, because I like these people. They were very, very pluralistic, left-wing, anti-religious types.
Oh, okay.
I love them.
Raw for the cake.
I'll tell you the truth, they're actually usually nicer than the religious people. Really, in general. I think they're mistaken, but they're nicer. Anyway, so we went on this trip, and the rabbi of the Penn Hillel, it was like Rabbi Susan or something like that. Whatever. She said, look, you could take them on the trip and you can teach them Torah ideas about social justice, but no kiruv, don't do kiruv. And I was like, okay, I'm fine with that. There's actually a separate story, but anyway, so that one of these guys was a whatever, he was studying that. And he sat down one night and we were sitting and we were having a beer on the beach, and he said, Rabbi, we don't have free will. And I said, we do have free will. And he said, we don't have free will. So I said, why do you think we don't have free will? And he said, because I can manipulate your brain. I can manipulate your brain to think something, feel something, forget something. So it's basically based on your brain. And then he basically said this: every decision you ever make, I can show why and how. Even literally in the physical matter of your brain, I can change the physical matter of the brain, and I can change what you like. I can change you from liking pizza to liking carrots. I can do that. So I said, I believe in that too. I just believe that we have a soul that can override that, which you can't test in the lab. So I believe everything that you test in the lab is 100% true. Your synapse and your neurons are sending messages in the I believe all of that. I'm just saying we have a part of us that can override it, and that's where your point of free will comes in. And he said to me, prove it. And I said, well, no, actually, the person who's going against our experience of reality, they have to prove it. I don't need to prove it because what I'm telling you is in line with our experience of reality. What you're saying goes against that. And he said, what do you mean? And I said, well, if someone slept with your girlfriend, would you be very upset? And he was like, well, yeah. And I said, why? It wasn't a free will decision. He was an animal. You shouldn't be upset. And he was like, oh. And I said, what if I punch you in the face right now? Would you get upset with me? And he said, yeah. And I said, well, why? I didn't choose to do that. I can't be held accountable for my actions because I don't have free will. You can only be held accountable for your actions if you have free will. So you can't be upset with me. Do you feel good about yourself when you get up in the morning and go for a run? And he was like, yeah. And I said, why? You can never feel good about yourself because you can only feel good about yourself if you made a free will decision. If it's not a free will decision and the alarm went and you're an animal, then why would you feel good about yourself? Animal can never feel good about itself. So you're living in a world which is completely an experience of free will. Your experience, every thought you have, every relationship you have, the friends you like. Why do you like your friends? Because they're good people. They make free will decisions. Why do you not like those people? Because you don't know. So I said, so you live in a world of experiencing free will experience on a daily basis, on a moment by moment basis. So I have a theory which can explain how we have free will. You have a theory which explains how we can't, but my theory is in line with our reality. So you're the one who has to prove it. He put on tefillin. Yeah, said I hear that. But he was actually a really good guy. He actually did put on tefillin at the end of the trip. Separate story. We got feedback from the trip, and it said, and Rabbi Susan, and it was like they loved the trip. It was amazing, volunteering in orphanages and painting schools and amazing, like we went volcano boarding. Very, very dangerous, by the way. We stopped doing it on the trip. Very dangerous. There's these volcanoes in Nicaragua where it's basically rock, small volcanic rocks, pebbles, and then you get like a sled and you bomb down it. Very dangerous. It's very fun, but people got quite badly injured, so we stopped doing it. She goes, amazing. She goes, one thing though, it was a bit Kiravi. So I said to my boss, Rabbi Jamie Cowland, you should get to know him, a great man. I said to him, I don't get it. I didn't do any discovery stuff. I just didn't do it. I didn't try to persuade anyone of anything. And he goes, no, you don't understand. You are Kirav. And I was like, what? He said, you don't need to do Kirav. The fact that you got a beard and sits there and you love life and you say brachas out loud and you're intelligent and you're happy, that is Kirav. That's people are like, oh, what? That person's got something I don't have. It's a very important thing when you go into Kirav, which is a very important thing to do. That Kirav, the main thing is, who are you as a person? Are you someone that people relate to and look up to? And that's why when people come for Shabbos, they're like, oh wow, look at this family, it's good values, and the kids are engaging and they're interesting and they're whatever. That's a separate story. So fine, so this is where your free will really comes in. So it's almost as if before 12, 13 you don't really have full free will. Litkaven bepulatav, to think about what you're doing. Lahasagat eze tachlit yadua tamid. Excellent. And now you can start grasping what the purpose is. You've got to know, like, is what I'm doing now in line with my purpose? If it's not in line with my purpose, I'm going to stop doing it. Is this getting me to be a nicer, happier, healthier person? And if it's not, I can choose not to do it. And also, how to stand up against your power of physical craving. And at least to be able to have the self-control to reconsider things, and then maybe you'll do them, by the way. So sometimes, this is very important, sometimes your body will say to you, look, I need chocolate now. Now you can very easily say, oh, just that's Yetzer Hara. But maybe it's not. Maybe you're emotionally worn down and you've been working really hard and you need a chocolate, chill out sometimes. So it gives you the ability to, even when it might seem the Yetzer Hara, to just consider, well, maybe it's not. Or sometimes you do need to lie in on Shabbos. But sometimes you're not feeling well, so you should get a few extra hours of sleep, but it means that you can start thinking about it. It means that all your drives and emotions that come up, rather than just following them, or just getting rid of them, is run them through your intellect. Run them through your life. Okay, I'm listening to my heart. I'm listening to my emotion. This is called emotional balance. Some people are controlled by their emotions. Some people repress their emotions. What you can do is feel your emotion, but before you act on it, run it through the filter of your intellect and say, okay, is this appropriate emotion to act upon? How long for? How can I express it in a healthy way? So that's very, very emotionally balanced, to be able to consider your emotions in a healthy way. And you can actually also see the consequences of your actions. It's a big one. To actually think, hold on, if I do that, that's probably going to happen. That took me until about 37 to be able to do that. Not true. But I was actually thinking, I'm not even going to tell you. I was thinking about something I did when I was about 10. I thought about it this morning. It was so stupid. It was clearly a stupid thing to do, but in the moment, 10 years old, you're like, I'm going to do this.
Do you think it was important for you to do that thing so you got to this point?
No, I think it was stupid. I think I could have got to this point without it. But I think maybe everything brought me where I am. It really upset my parents though, when the principal of the school had to call them in. And then at this point, you become a bit grown up. And then what comes up in you, it is born within you, is that deep, sweet pleasure of doing the right thing. That's the best thing. It feels good to do the right thing. When you're a kid, you might do the right thing because you're forced to, otherwise you get punished, but it doesn't necessarily feel so good to do the right thing. For us, even self-control, could eat that thing, smoke that thing, watch that thing, say that thing. There's one level of self-control where you're like, I'm not going to do that. But you're a bit resentful that you're not going to do it. There's another level where you don't do it and you feel great. You're like, I did it. I got out of bed. I didn't watch that. I said no. And that in itself is the greatest. What is going to give you more pleasure? That rogelach or saying no to that rogelach? No. Depends how good. If it is.
Wait, what about, don't we have that experience with Hashem in some way? Like, it's like seeing Hashem as kind of a parent.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that's like the fear of Hashem aspect. Even if you might not be punished in the moment, like sometimes we do things not because we think like,
100%. But there's a higher level where you're doing it not out of fear but out of love.
Right.
There's one thing, my children tidy up their room because they're worried I won't give them dessert if they don't. So they tidy their room. So they get it done. But there's another thing that they tidy their room because it's the right thing. It just makes them feel good to have a tidy room, and then we'll have a better relationship. So the first relationship is there isn't really a relationship. They have a relationship with dessert, not with their father. So acting out of fear of Hashem doesn't mean you have a relationship with Hashem. You just don't want to get punished. Now there's a mid-level, there's a higher level where you have a fear of messing up the relationship. That's quite good. First level is my kids tidy up their room, otherwise they won't get dessert. Second level is they tidy up their room because they love me and they don't want to ruin our relationship. That's also a good level, but they still don't really want to tidy their room, but they do it because they care about the relationship. The highest level is they do it because it's the right thing to do and it's great and they want to do it and they see the benefit for doing it and they know that I want them to do it. 3 levels of yira, by the way. That's yiras ha'aynesh, fear of punishment, yiras ha'chet, fear of ruining the relationship, and yiras ha'raimemus, which is just seeing the awe, seeing the exaltedness.
That was that eros.
Pardon?
It was eros.
Yira.
Yira. What is yira?
Yira, it depends on what level. It's either translated as fear or as God consciousness. The higher levels of yira comes from the word ro'eh, which means to see. So it depends what you're seeing. If you're seeing the consequences, then that's fear of consequences. But if you're seeing God, then that's seeing.
What's that third level you said?
Yirsa Romimut. Or
In a practical way, like how do you
kids, tidy your room. Lower level is okay. High level is okay. Top level is Dad, tidy my room. Of course. Thank you so much. That's amazing. Of course I'm going to tidy my room. Amazing.
So it's like, thanks for even giving me like
It's
an
like
opportunity or something.
I have. It's like I just love you so much and respect you so much that clearly what you're telling me to do is for my own benefit and is great. So I'm just going to do it, and I'm going to love doing it. I just want to do it. It's amazing. Middle level is okay. I'll do it because I don't want to mess up my relationship with you.
Right.
Lowest level is okay then. Let's just finish this paragraph. And chesed. So you want to do chesed. Imabriot, to help other people. Limtzoi kairat ruach lahakeh chidushim niflaim bebechinas Yisrael. And then you start looking around just at the world. You just start contemplating, considering creation. You're just like, wow, it's unbelievable. The world's an amazing place. So it's just a higher level of consciousness you get to at some point. And that's where your bechira starts tapping in. And then your level of bechira rises. For example, at some point at the beginning of my journey, should I eat that not kosher thing or not? That's not a question now. It doesn't matter how tasty a cheeseburger looks. I'm not eating it. It's not even a problem. It's not even a question. But there are other. How much kavana will I have in this bracha? Like how much tzedakah? How well will I give? Whatever. You get higher levels of bechira. Okay. Bezos.